lots to see and do at the 2017 Croft Nostalgia Festival. Plenty to look at off the track, but one thing that nobody wants to miss on circuit is the historic Formula 4 Championship. This is round 7 of the season, and it's Callum Grant that qualified quickest out of the 2 groups that took place this morning. The quickest of the second group was Michael O'Brien, so he will line up alongside him. The 2 championship contenders head in here to North Yorkshire. Third in the championship is Richard Tarling, and he will start third on the grid. He's back in the Jamin this weekend. He was in the Macon for the last 2 meetings. A few issues for that, so back out in the Jamin, which he won the last time he was in it. That was at Silverstone. Ben Tilley, who finished second place in the Formula Junior race earlier on, will start 4th. James Buckton, with his best qualifying session of the season, he will start in 5th. He's in the Crosley, the second of the non-Merlins. The rest of those will be in the Jamin of Tarling. Returning to the championship is Ben Tusting. He's in an Alden this time out, one of the Mark 8 Motorsport cars run by Derek Buckton. The winner of the heat earlier was Max Bartel, and he will start 7th therefore, with the rest of the drivers coming through now, those that graduate through from the heat. It was Bartel that narrowly beat Sam Mitchell in that race, so he will go next. And then Neil Shinner was 3rd in that race earlier on, so he will start 9th. Former Caterham driver Rob Smith goes next to here, complete the top 10 on the grid in the Jerry Wainwright prepared Merlin. Andrew Wiggins, who had a great race earlier on, will start next. He's in a tighter. Then we've got the Lola of David Wild, who returns to the championship this weekend. Former podium finisher here at Croft. And then we've got Ross Stryber before Stuart Kestenbaum, multiple Formula Ford winner, but not yet in the historic championship. Robert Tusting is up next before we see Stuart Dix, who had a great race earlier, over to about 10 cars on his way through the field. Teammate to Michael O'Brien, Jeff Underwood, is out next in the classic Team Merlin machine. Louis Handel, the driver from Belgium, is up next. For the only BT on the grid, that's Stephen Greenwood in his debut season of car racing. James Lovett up next, the 3rd of the Lolas, run by Neil Fowler Motorsport. Then you've got the Hawk and the Lotus up next, Phil Nelson and Dick Dixon. John Roberts, who had a strong race earlier on, he goes next ahead of Martin Haynes. And then the Eldon of Donald Laird. Let's see what happened in the race earlier though, the heat. Qualifying race at Croft saw Max Bartel lead Sam Mitchell down to Clevo for the first time, with Ed Thurston getting ahead of Neil Shinner, but he would retire before the end of the first lap. Rob Smith was a driver on the move throughout the race. Here he passing Ross Stryber. Great train of cars throughout the field. Looking up there with Stuart Dix, he was somebody that worked his way through the field from a lowly quid position. Been great battles though throughout the field. The last of those cars was Andrew Wiggins. He had a great race. He finished 5th by the end. But up front it was Max Bartel versus Sam Mitchell. The winner of the battle would start 7th for the championship race later on. Rob Smith got 4th by the end, passing David Wild here down towards Tower Bend. But it was Max Bartel that won. He beat Sam Mitchell with Neil Shinner 3rd. Out onto the circuit then go the historic Formula Ford cars from their green flag warming up lap here at Croft. 20-minute race is in store. We are expecting a capacity grid of 32 cars. So I think a few drivers have opted to sit out a bit, which has actually brought some drivers that wouldn't have necessarily have been in it through into the race. It's going to be a competitive one, as it has been all year. This in fact being the 15th historic Formula Ford race that has taken place. We had 2 races at Donington, 1 then on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit before, 4 at Cadwell, 4 at Brands Hatch. We had a 2 at the Silverstone Classic last weekend, and we have 4 here at Croft. So round 7 of the championship will line up as follows, with Callum Grant and Michael O'Brien on the front row. Then Richard Tarling and Ben Tilley, James Buckton and Ben Tusting. They all immediately went through from qualifying. The rest come through from the heat, and that is Bartel, Mitchell, Shinner, Smith, Wiggins, Wild, Dryborough, Kestenbaum, Tustin, Dix, Underwood, Handel, Greenwood. Then the first of the drivers that opted not to race is the Macon of Roy Swergu. So we will have some drivers coming through who wouldn't have necessarily have been there, but who make an exciting race nevertheless. The cars are ready. The 5-second board has been shown. So when the red lights go out, we go racing for 20 minutes here at Croft. And the lights go out and away they go. Which of the championship contenders, Grant or O'Brien, will make the better start? It's certainly Grant. O'Brien's made a terrible start. In fact, he's falling down the order. So it's Richard Tarling in second. Third is Ben Tilley. It's side by side before, but Michael O'Brien sweeps around the outside of James Buckton. So he's down to 4 places at O'Brien, but he saved that a bit with a late breaking move into Clairvaux to go round the outside of Buckton. Then behind James Buckton is Max Bartel and Sam Mitchell. We're right forward with Mitchell in the slipstream heading down towards Tower Bend. He goes to the left-hand side of the circuit. Back to Ben Tusting, isn't it? Up there as well, and he's trying to get round the outside of. He can't quite do that there. He then gets the cut back out of the corner, which should put him ahead of Tusting, I think. Dash up towards the Jim Clark S. Is then such a fast part of this circuit, but up the third is O'Brien. He's got ahead of Ben Tilley, but up front Callum Grant's got a very good gap indeed. He's an expert here at Croft. He's won the majority of races here in the last few years in the championship. He dominated last year. See what happens this time round in the most competitive season for the championship. Jeff Underwood, we're on board with dipping 2 wheels out over the grass in front of us with Stuart Dix in the Cooper. Now we can ride in towards the complex. Much tighter line taken by Underwood. Moves out now for the right-handed element. As they do so, then through the hairpin they come and out onto the start and finish straight to complete lap 1. And Grant's lead is still strong with Tarling and O'Brien now getting away from Ben Tilley as they turn in towards Clairvaux. Tilley's got James Buckton on his tail, then Sam Mitchell is 6th. Ben Tusting and then Max Bartel. Side by side there and up over the curves was Robert Tusting. He flung the car up into the air there. Meanwhile, John Hayes Harlow dives down the inside of Dick Dixon, dipped 2 wheels into the gravel, and as does Roger Arnold. Arnold was much further into the gravel though. Dramatic stuff on lap 2 at Clairvaux. Side by side for second because Michael O'Brien has slipstreamed his way past Richard Tarling and gone round the outside in the braking zone. He runs out a bit wide though, 2 wheels over the grass, but he's through. He's into second. He's back to where he started, but an eventful 1.5 laps really for Michael O'Brien after that poor start. But he's strongly made his way back up. You've got Tilley, Buckton and Mitchell nose to tail for 4th, 5th and 6th. The rest of the field then blow their way through the S's. Back on board we can go with Sam Mitchell, and he's now challenging James Buckton up towards the complex. Buckton defends to the inside, so Sam Mitchell just drives right round the outside of him through the left-handed element, and then he'll be on the inside for the right-handed section. He goes through, so another place gain for Sam Mitchell. It's a strong start to the race for him. Side by side action down towards Sunny and out over the grass there with the Hawker Phil Nelson, then he locks up with dirt on his tyres, of course, and not as much grip maybe as he was expecting into the braking zone. So that's a place gain for our onboard camera driver. That's John Roberts. Callum Grant. The car up onto 2 wheels, and there's Mitchell and Buckton. They're still absolutely tied together. Lost driver there, swooping around the outside of Rob Smith to get ahead of him. A couple of the Neil Fowler cars were together there. That was David Wild and Robert Tusting. Tusting maybe lost a place or so after that moment on the previous lap as he popped not just over the curve but over the dirt on the inside of the circuit. There's a bit of a mound there and that launched his car up in the air. Out wide through Hawthorne there is Donald Laird, so Roger Arnold is right onto his tail as they come out of the chicane, and on the run down towards Tower to the left hand side of the circuit goes Arnold, and he should gain the place here. Can O'Brien and Tarling work together to get back to Callum Grant. Max Bartel's up to 6th. He's got himself ahead of James Buckton and Ben Tusting recently, so he's having a good run on the last lap or so. Loads of tail stuff coming through now between Greenwood, Hansel and Hayes Harlow. Hayes Harlow was a driver who retired in the earlier race, but as some drivers have pulled out, he moved into this race and working his way through the order well. We saw a moment ago there, Mike Wales getting the better of Rachel Arnold into Clairvaux. There's Roger Arnold, Rachel's dad, who's having a battle with Donald Laird, as we saw a moment or two ago. But down towards Clairvaux, Michael O'Brien is catching Callum Grant and Richard Tarling not necessarily going with him. But the three of them have got a good gap back to Tilly, Mitchell, Bartel, Buxton and Tusting. Neil Shinner, who's having this really good run all weekend, is in ninth place, and he moved up from where he would normally be, because he'd normally be in the next group of cars, and one driver of those who is Stuart Kettenbaum. He goes over that mound on the inside of Clairvaux, which launches the car briefly. No driver has done that and managed to gather the car back together before they get to Hawthorne. Oh, a big lock up there for Dick Dixon as he challenged Phil Nelson into Clairvaux. Boyd running to the back of him, he took to the gravel there, but that's lost him time and potentially lost him places as well. Well, away from Rachel Arnold now, but into the S's, it is nose to tail for the lead. Callum Grant has had been caught by Michael O'Brien, so O'Brien now right on the tail of the race leader. There was some more nose to tail stuff, that was between Bartel and Buckton, who were absolutely together as they turned their way through the S's. See how quick this part of the circuit is. Right on the limit in these Formula Ford cars. 1972, HSCC Historic Championship caters. There's Dick Dixon, we've just had a Martin Haynes after that moment, but here come the leaders. It's Grant, O'Brien and now Tarling trying to come back to them, but it's certainly a battle for the lead. It's the closest anybody has been to Callum Grant since the green flag lap. They turn their way into Hawthorne. A much tighter line is taken by O'Brien, and now he's right on the tail of Callum Grant, but maybe he slid out a bit wide before they turn into chicane. He's only got a car length back here. Can he get into the slipstream on the run down towards Tower Bend? They are pretty close. You would expect maybe not quite close enough. It's O'Brien, but he's got himself right into the place for the braking zone, and he dives to the inside under braking, and O'Brien goes through. He takes the race lead then. So we've got a new leader for the first time in this race, and it's Michael O'Brien. Callum Grant in second. Grant is challenging, he's coming round the outside into the S's, and they are absolutely side by side through the fastest part of the circuit, one of the fastest parts since British Motorsport, and back through goes Callum Grant. He goes to the inside as they turned into Barcroft, and Callum Grant retakes the lead, so he only lost the lead for about one corner. That was an exciting part of the race then. The two leaders went side by side, the two championship contenders side by side through the Jim Clark S's, and that has allowed Richard Tarling to come back to them. It's a freeway battle now as they turn their way towards the end of the lap. Through the complex they are going, and they will dive in towards the hairpin. Not really an overtaking opportunity, but you've got a good slingshot out of here down towards Clairvaux. Across the line they go then to complete the lap. O'Brien has seen where he can make a move, and on that occasion at least Grant was able to fight back. Not in the most usual of places. They turn their way into Hawthorne though. And Bartel, who's still having this good battle with James Buckton. Buckton probably in his best run of the season so far. Ross Driver and Rob Smith have been having a battle all day really, and it's Smith down the inside clobbers that mound, and it put Ross Driver off a bit. He ran through the gravel, and Stuart Kettenbaum therefore has got ahead of him. They head their way up towards the chicane now. Smith there gaining the place. Roger Arnold, he's having a battle with Donald Laird still. They turn their way up towards Hawthorne with Paul Unsworth chasing them round the outside of the back marker now through the S's. Grant, O'Brien and Tarling have all cleared her. That's Nick Harder. You can see how much speed the front runners are able to carry through this part of the circuit. There's Ben Tusting running 8th, Neil Shinner in 9th. Really pulling out, isn't he, from the battle behind me, led by Rob Smith. Stuart Kettenbaum up next, then Ross Driver. Robert Tusting, Andrew Wiggins, David Wild, Stuart Dix and Jeff Underwood all involved in that big scrap. And then the next car through is John Hayes Harlow, who's worked his way from the back of the grid. He's now ahead of Stephen Greenwood, Louis Handel and James Lovett. Down to Clairvaux, the leaders. It's Grant, O'Brien and Tarling. And flying there off of the back of O'Brien's car, there appeared to be something there, so let's hope that doesn't slow him up in the second half of this race. Matt Bartel slides a bit wide to see through Clairvaux. Well, he's still got the better of James Buckton, and Ben Tusting is through next. What can O'Brien do this time on the run down towards Tower? He's in the tow, he's in the slipstream, heading down towards Tower, and he's getting closer and closer, a bit earlier than last time, so he's alongside into the braking zone, and again he's later on the brake. Can he get the car turned in when he wants to this time and not slide out wide? Meanwhile, Stuart Kestenbaum is trying to get himself ahead of Rob Smith. He can't quite do that. They've got traffic now as they turn up towards the chicane. Here come the leaders into the S's. O'Brien has got it done. He's ahead now of Callum Grant. O'Brien yet to win a race in the championship, but he won both races last weekend at the Silverstone Classic. Can he repeat that here at Croft? Well, they are battling well up front. Meanwhile, there's a good battle further back. That's Dick Dixon. He's finally got himself ahead of Phil Nelson after that moment a few laps ago. He's gone down the inside into Clairvaux. Meanwhile, Paul Unsworth, he's chasing Donald Laird. He's going down the inside up towards Tower Bend. It's the Eldon and the Palliser running side by side. It's Unsworth to the inside and he goes through. Inside under braking. Meanwhile, the leaders, they complete the lap, and for the first time it doesn't say car number 1 leads the way. It's 94, it's O'Brien that leads now as they turn into Clairvaux. Whatever that was that fell off his car at last lap isn't slowing him down at all, is it? Chilly's 4th, 5th here is Sam Mitchell. All drift his way through Clairvaux. You've got Bartel and Buckton, they are closing Mitchell, it does appear. Then you've got Ben Tusting. Now did O'Brien dip 2 wheels out over the grass down to the chicane. That's allowing Callum Grant to have a good run down towards Tower Bend. O'Brien defends to the inside. Is Grant going to be able to drive right round the outside in towards Tower Bend? It looks like he is. Yes, he goes through. So Callum Grant regains the lead. Stuart Kestenbaum swoops around the outside of Rob Smith. That was a great move, and a bit further back. Robert Tusting makes a bit of a mistake, so Andrew Wiggins goes through. Got David Wild behind, he's having a battle with Stuart Dix and Jeff Underwood. Back on board with Rob Smith as he challenges Stuart Kestenbaum again. So Kestenbaum, who made that great move around the outside at Clairvaux, he's now back under pressure because Rob Smith is going to the outside in towards Tower, but Kestenbaum is later on the brakes and Kestenbaum stays ahead. Sunny go the race leaders. We're on board with Richard Tarling, the 1998 Formula Palmer Audi champion. Returned to racing a few years ago and has chose historic Formula Ford to be his championship campaign in 2017. He hasn't been to Croft for many seasons. Michael O'Brien's never been to Croft, and Callum Grant was the double race winner here last year, so very different experiences of the circuit, but they are all having this great battle for the lead. It's not the easiest of places to pass, but Tower Bend certainly seems to be the place where it's happening today. We saw earlier there's a few cars that may well be lapped in this race, and that could become a factor as we head into the second half of it. Here's the battle for 5th. Sam Mitchell, who dips a wheel into the gravel there. He's got Matt Bartel closing him in. He's got James Buckton losing out there, lapping Rachel Arnold there. Mitchell gets the move done into the chicane. How vital is that? Matt Bartel had to back off. We were just saying about how back markers can be a factor. Stuart Dix has a big moment into the complex there. He locks up, he runs out wide, and he clobbers the tyre stack, so that'll be him out. Tyre stack win over a Formula Ford car in an instant like that, unfortunately for Stuart Dix. Unfortunately wasn't able to position his line to miss that tyre stack. Meanwhile, the race leaders will continue their battle. They've got traffic heading down towards Barcroft. The 3 of them are nose to tail. Mike O'Brien goes around the outside of Callum Grant, but finds a slower car there, so he runs out wide, and Richard Tarling uses that to gain the place. He goes down the inside. He's got 2nd place now. Nick Dixon is continuing his run through the field. He's on the inside of John Roberts in towards Clairvaux. Slides a bit wide, but he gets the position done before they turn into Hawthorne. Tarling challenging for the lead into the complex there, wasn't he, on Callum Grant? Michael O'Brien still there in third, so we're still in three-way battle for the lead. They're well clear now of Ben Tilley in fourth. These are the three drivers really battling over the championship. No, not so strong races for Tarling in the previous rounds at Cadwell Park and Brands, so he's dropped back a bit. But with race wins being such a good points factor in this championship, if Tarling can get some wins here at Croft, that'll be really beneficial to him. Up towards the chicane, O'Brien is right on the tail of Tarling there. Ben Tilley, there he is in fourth position. A bit of a lonely race at the moment, it's got traffic into the chicane. Looks like Robert Tusting's had an incident, he's out of the car. In the field as well by the looks of things. On board with Sam Mitchell, late on the brakes in the tower, big old lock-up he has. He was trying to get past the slower car of Mike Wales as he chased after Ben Tilley. And I think Mitchell there apologising to Wales for getting too close to him towards Tower Bend, and again it gets all rather tight up into the Jim Clark S's. You can see the speed differential from the faster drivers, especially around this circuit, some awkward places where you catch the slower cars. Big slide there from Rob Smith through Hawthorne. That's allowed Ross Driver to come down the inside into the chicane. And because he was offline, you could see the amount of extra speed a driver could carry through the corner. And that seems to be a factor here at this circuit. And that is potentially why the faster drivers finding traffic more difficult than we usually see. We've got traffic for the leaders turning into the hairpin. It's Grant and Tarling. They are nose to tail. Tarling right on the gearbox of Grant. They're headed out the corner, but Grant has good traction, doesn't he? Out of the hairpin there. Or is it poor traction in the Jamin for Tarling? Because O'Brien's trying to come alongside him. They've got traffic, as we mentioned, up in towards Clairvaux, and Michael O'Brien there, almost running to the back of the slower car that came across the front of him. Managed to avoid any incident though. Up towards the chicane for the leaders. They've got traffic as well. Richard Tarling goes one way, Callum Grant goes the other. Tarling across the grass, but has he managed to get past Callum Grant there? Carrying the speed out the chicane, he has. He was a pass on the grass then for Richard Tarling to go to the front, but Callum Grant's going to re-challenge him towards Tower Bend. He's coming around the outside. The two cars are absolutely level, and right round the outside has gone Callum Grant to retake the lead. Second time we've seen Grant pass, and immediately he gets the lead back in towards the S's, and Tarling there right on the gearbox again of Callum Grant. He goes down the inside in towards Barcroft, hops over the curve but unable to find a way through. Another late braking moment for Sam Mitchell in towards Tower Bend. He slid out wide, and that's allowed Max Bartel through. These two drivers have had such a good battle in the qualifying race earlier, having to have one again here by the looks of things. Some time on the previous lap when he caught that slower car in an awkward position, not just once but twice. Bartel has capitalised on that, but he swings the roundabout isn't. We saw Bartel lost time earlier in a similar situation. Mitchell is going to re-challenge into the complex. He passed Buxton here round the outside. Very confident there to carry that line, and down the inside it goes. I think the two cars are still side by side as they head up towards the hairpin. Bartel on the inside, so this is difficult for Mitchell now to get the better of Bartel here. Not as he runs that wide, and he doesn't, so Max Bartel stays ahead. Bartel as well has just come out of his Elva that he shared with Sam's brother Ben. They finished third position in that race. Jumping straight into the Merlin with Bartel here. Had lots of traffic in that race as well, a multi-class series cigars trophy. So Max Bartel potentially is more used to that kind of thing. I think we're on board with Paul Unsworth now. We exit the chicane. There goes Bartel. There goes Mitchell. We've got another car to lap up towards Tower, so they will go to the inside of him. And they both get that one done. The leader, this is Callum Grant, heading through the Jim Clark S's then up towards Barcroft. There's the car to lap, and all Callum Grant gets that all wrong, doesn't he? He spins into the field, comes back out of the field again, but he's lost the lead. He's going to lose multiple positions. You can see how quickly he caught that slower car. He just had no time to change of direction, and the car just spun to the inside of the circuit. It is such a large speed difference around some of these quick bends. Rob Smith has just got the pressure of Rob's driver. He's gone through on the way down towards Tower. Callum Grant has worked his way out the field and carrying some of that with him onto the circuit. You can see the field flying out the back of his Merlin, but not good for Callum Grant. He's down to 8th. Last lap. The leaders are going on 2 minutes. Richard Tarling that leads. He managed to avoid the incident there that Callum Grant had to take forward in action, really, not to bow into the back of that slower car through Croft. Instead, he put his car into the grass. There's James Buckley just lapping this battle that's going on between Roger Arnold and Paul Unsworth. Up towards Clairvaux they go. Buckton himself trying to get away from Ben Tusty. There goes Tusty. Down the inside. Negotiate those cars safely. There's Grant then, in 8th position. Just had a Neil Schinner in fact, so he's going to have to make sure he hangs on there. Leaders absolutely together through the X's nose to tail. Can Michael O'Brien find a way past Richard Tarling in this final half a lap? Ben Tilley now looking good for a podium, although Max Bartel and Sam Mitchell are closing him in. Rob Smith is getting himself back on the turn with Stuart Kestenbaum. Can he find a way through before the end? He's got a good run out of the chicane. He's getting alongside. He's going to nose ahead as they head down towards Tower. But Kestenbaum's got that inside line. Done a lot of years racing Formula Ford, and he uses that that knowledge to his advantage to keep Rob Smith at bay. They then turn their way then up towards the Jim Clark S's. Bit of traffic to deal with, Driver and Wiggins and Wild all there as well. But out of the final corner, for the final time, it's going to be Richard Tarling to win for the 2nd time this year in historic Formula Ford. For the first time he wins in the drive. And again, it is Michael O'Brien that he beats, as it was at Silverstone. And O'Brien comes 2nd for the countless times that he has been this year. Good for the championship though for O'Brien, another 2nd place. I'm sure he'll want to win before long. 3rd place for Ben Tilley, he finishes on the podium. 4th was Max Bartel and 5th was Sam Mitchell and 6th was James Buckton. Let's review those results then. It was the J-man of Richard Tarling that came out on top by just half a second over O'Brien. Tilley beat Bartel and Mitchell. In Buckton, Ben Tusting was 7th ahead of Callum Grant, the unlucky driver who no longer is a championship leader. Michael O'Brien will take that position. Neil Schinner and Stuart Kestenbaum completed the top 10. Kestenbaum keeping at bay Rob Smith, Ross driver, Wiggins and Wild and Underwood. Jeff Underwood had a great result there, 15th. John Hayes-Harlow from the back got 16th. You've got Greenwood, Handel, Lovett and Dixon completing the top 20. That concludes round 7 of the historic Formula Ford Championship. 2 more races we have tomorrow. The qualifying race and then round 8 of the championship. We look forward to that.